Yo, what up? Welcome to Fuck Math. Alright, so today we're going to talk about exponential numbers. So what is an exponential number? Exponential number has a base and it's risen to some power. Now exponential numbers get really big really fast. Why? I don't know, but your mom would know though. Alright, so back to the definition of exponential numbers. Base and it's to some sort of power. So let's say that we had a base of 7, alright, and the power of 4. So what this means is that 7 is going to get multiplied by itself 4 times. That's all it means. The base is what's going to get multiplied. How many times it's going to get multiplied is the power. Alright, so that's 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Alright? So 7 times 7 times 7, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So now let's say that we had the number 8. Alright, and we did it to the 12th power. So that means that that's going to be 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. You get the idea, right? 12 times, bitch. Alright, so how does this help you in algebra? Well, first of all, you have to understand that sometimes you're going to encounter numbers that look like this. So you got x squared. Now, what does that mean? That means that you have a number, you don't know what it is, but it's getting multiplied by itself twice. So literally that means x multiplied by x. Alright, so you got x times x. Now in algebra, this means multiplication because the multiplication symbol looks too much like x. So they're like, we got to come up with a new symbol. So they came up with this period. I don't know why. I don't know who came up with it. But just remember that in algebra, the period means multiplication. Alright, so anyways, so you got this x multiplied by x. So that's what x squared means. So you got a number, you don't know what it is, and you're multiplying by itself twice. So the number is getting multiplied by that same number twice. Same thing if I were to write x cubed, alright? That means the number gets multiplied by that number, gets multiplied by that number again 3 times, alright? That's what it means in algebra. So you're going to encounter these kind of numbers. Just realize that that's what that means. Alright, you got a base of x, you don't know what that shit is, and it's going to some sort of power, 2, 3, 4, you're going to multiply it by that much. Alright, that's what that means. Alright, I'm going shapes on your ass for a second. So, in algebra, you got to understand that x is an unknown number. You don't know what it is. So, let's say you had a shape, and you're like, alright, it's a square. So, you have a square. The best I can do, alright? Don't judge. Alright, so you got one side. You don't know what that shit is. So you put x there. And here at the same time, you don't know what this shit is. But you know it's the same length as this side. Because that's in squares, all the sides are the same length. So you say, okay, well if this is x, then this has to be x too, right? Because this side has the same length as this side. So both sides can be represented by the same letter, x. Alright, so you got 2 x's and you're like, alright, well I know from simple geometry class, or if you don't know, I'll tell you right now that the area of a square is length times width, okay, or in algebra terms, length times width, okay. Let's get used to the algebra terms. Alright, so length times width. So you know that length and width is the same. It's x and x. So you know the length is x, and you know that the width is x. So if you know that the length is x and the width is x, x times x, whoa, look at that. You can represent that as x squared. So that means that in algebra, you'll understand that x squared can also represent the area of a square. Yeah, that's right. X squared represents the area of a square. X squared represents the area of a square. X squared with the